Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns has been working as a tweener since returning to WWE last year at SummerSlam. However, wrestling analyst Sam Roberts believes that the OTC is reverting to his old character based on what we saw on SmackDown. The head of the table is currently embroiled in a feud with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and will face them in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. The contract for the same was signed on SmackDown this week, where Heyman also revealed that the match will be the main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania. Reigns asked Punk to thank him for helping the latter achieve his lifelong dream of headlining the biggest wrestling event of the year, while he paid no heed to Rollins' frustrations. Speaking about the segment on his Not Some Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts noted that he believes Roman Reigns is going back to his tribal chief days when he was evil and manipulative. Roman Reigns came back in such a heroic way in a quest to get the Ula fella, but there's something about that Ula fella that poisons the blood of Roman Reigns. Because now that Roman Reigns once again wears the Ula fella, he is slowly, but surely, drifting back into that peak bloodline Roman Reigns who, while was as successful if not far more successful than any WWE superstar has ever been, he was also evil, and Roman Reigns is very, very quickly shifting back into that direction. From 1446 to 1528. The WWE backstage analyst added that Reigns used his brief union with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk to build himself back up after the WrestleMania 40 loss. Roman Reigns that we see now is not the same Roman Reigns that was willing to tag team with Cody, it's not the same Roman Reigns that was willing to accept CM Punk on his War Games team. That Roman Reigns won when he was with Cody, he won when he was with CM Punk. He used up those pieces to put himself back on the pedestal that he needs to be on. He built himself back up to once again main eventing WrestleMania, and instead of looking around and thinking about all the people who helped him get there, he's saying, "You must thank me." From 1553 to 1632. Roman Reigns was involved in a heated argument after WWE SmackDown went off the air. While Roman Reigns helped CM Punk achieve his lifelong dream of main eventing WrestleMania, his actions frustrated Seth Rollins, who did not want the best in the world to get what he wanted. The two former Shield members were involved in a heated argument after SmackDown went off the air. Rollins then left in a huff, while the former undisputed WWE Universal Champion was also seen speaking a few words to the camera on his way back. This will be the OTC's 10th WrestleMania main event. He has headlined the biggest wrestling event of the year more than anyone in WWE's history. For nearly 4 years, Roman Reigns has dominated WWE as the tribal chief, ruling with an iron fist alongside the bloodline. However, with his family in disarray and his reign in jeopardy, a shocking turn of events has led Reigns down an unforeseen path, one that could redefine his entire career. In a stunning move, Roman has aligned himself with two of WWE's most polarizing figures, setting the stage for a dramatic transformation that could shake the entire industry. The fall of the tribal chief. Reigns' downfall began when Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu seized control of the bloodline in his absence. When he returned, he found himself an outcast, betrayed by those he once trusted. Paul Heyman, his longtime counsel, hesitated in choosing sides, further complicating Roman's position. With his family turned against him, many assumed this was the end of his dominance. However, Reigns was never one to back down from adversity. Rather than beg for redemption, he chose reinvention. A new alliance emerges. In a shocking turn of events on SmackDown, Reigns appeared in the main event, seemingly ready to address the WWE Universe about his uncertain future. But before he could speak, the arena darkened, and an ominous theme hit. Out came none other than Karrion Kross and Scarlett. The duo, known for their psychological warfare and ruthless aggression, had been teasing a major alliance for weeks. As the tension built, Kross stepped into the ring, standing face to face with Reigns. A smirk formed on his face as he extended his hand. The crowd was in disbelief. Was Roman truly joining forces with someone who had previously targeted him? After a long pause, Reigns shook Kross' hand, signifying the unholy union. To make things even more unexpected, the moment was interrupted by another entrance, Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior, who had once been Reigns' fiercest rival, had recently been teasing a darker edge. After being betrayed by his supposed allies on Raw, he had been vocal about the idea of aligning with someone who understood what true dominance meant. Instead of an all-out brawl, McIntyre nodded at Reigns and Kross, extending his own hand. Reigns, now without the bloodline, accepted the offer. The evolution of Roman Reigns. This newfound partnership signaled a major shift in Roman Reigns' character. No longer the tribal chief or the head of the table, he now carried himself as something more sinister, a warrior cast out of his own kingdom, seeking revenge against those who wronged him. His new alliance with Cross and McIntyre formed an unholy trinity of destruction, a trio that thrived on dominance, intimidation, and mind games. Reigns abandoned the traditional Samoan symbolism that once defined him. His new persona leaned into something darker. He donned black and crimson gear, signifying his rebirth. His promos became cryptic, laced with vengeance rather than superiority. Instead of controlling his enemies through loyalty and fear, he began manipulating them through sheer brutality. With Cross and McIntyre by his side, Reigns rebranded himself as the Revenant. The message was clear: he was no longer a king sitting on a throne, he was a fallen warrior risen from the ashes, seeking destruction. The first victims of Reigns' new faction were none other than Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. On an episode of SmackDown, the Bloodline was set to address their new era. However, before they could even finish their entrance, the arena lights flickered, and a chilling video played on the Titantron. It showed Reigns, Cross, and McIntyre standing in a dimly lit room, each man delivering a cryptic warning. "You thought you buried me, but I do not die," Reigns whispered. Before Solo and Jacob could react, the trio attacked from behind, laying waste to the Bloodline members. What was once a family feud had now evolved into an all-out war. The WWE Universe erupted, realizing that this was not the same Roman Reigns who had once demanded acknowledgement. This was a man driven by vengeance, willing to tear apart everything he built just to make his enemies suffer. The backstage response to Reigns' transformation was electric. Many in WWE believed that this was the most compelling character shift in years. With Cross and McIntyre at his side, Reigns had breathed new life into his career. WWE management saw money in the faction, with rumors swirling that they could soon challenge for all the top titles across SmackDown and Raw. Paul Heyman, who had always been by Roman's side, was notably silent. When asked for his thoughts, he merely stated, "The tribal chief is dead." But something far more dangerous has taken his place. With this seismic shift in character, the question remains, what is Roman Reigns' ultimate goal? Is he seeking to reclaim his lost empire, or does he wish to burn it all down and build something new? One thing is certain, WWE has never seen anything like this before. Roman Reigns is no longer demanding acknowledgement, he is demanding vengeance. And with Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre by his side, nothing and no one is safe. I've crafted an intense storyline detailing Roman Reigns' transformation into the Revenant alongside Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or additional elements. Roman Reigns involved in a heated argument after SmackDown went off the air. Another WWE star angrily left the arena. Roman Reigns was present on SmackDown this week, where he signed the contract to make his triple threat match official at WWE WrestleMania 41. However, that is not all, as the OTC was involved in a heated argument after the show went off the air. Reigns is set to face Seth Rollins and CM Punk in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. The three men signed the contract for the same on the Blue brand last night, where Heyman also revealed that their match will headline one of the nights of the Showcase of the Immortals. This left a bitter taste in Rollins' mouth, as he did not want to see Punk fulfill his dream of main eventing WrestleMania. After SmackDown went off the air, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were seen to be involved in a heated argument. The visionary then left the arena in a huff, while Reigns was also seen saying a few words angrily on his way to the back. Roman Reigns will main event his 10th WrestleMania this year. Roman Reigns has firmly established himself as one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. The OTC has headlined numerous premium live events in his illustrious career. With Reigns set to main event this year's WrestleMania as well, he will make history as he will become the first star to headline the biggest wrestling event of the year on 10 occasions. However, the head of the table isn't as active inside the squared circle as he used to be in his heyday. Reigns has made very few appearances on WWE programming on the road to WrestleMania. His appearance on SmackDown was his last advertised appearance before the Showcase of the Immortals. However, he is expected to show up a few more times to build up the triple threat match. Roman Reigns has competed in just 2 matches this year. He last donned his wrestling boots at WWE Royal Rumble, where CM Punk eliminated him. This marked the start of the rivalry between him, Punk, and Rollins. The electric energy of Friday Night SmackDown had just faded as the cameras stopped rolling, but the tension behind the curtain was just beginning to rise. Roman Reigns, the dominant force of WWE, stormed backstage, his face locked in a scowl that could send chills down anyone's spine. His cousin, Solo Sikoa, followed closely behind, his usually stoic demeanor giving way to concern. The Bloodline had just been blindsided in the main event, a loss that was never part of Reigns' plan, and now, tempers were flaring. The moment Reigns stepped through the gorilla position, he ripped off his wrist tape and slammed it to the floor. Paul Heyman, ever the loyal wiseman, cautiously approached, his hands up in a defensive gesture. "Tribal Chief," Heyman started, but before he could continue, Reigns cut him off. "Don't start, Paul. I don't want to hear it." The frustration in his voice was enough to silence everyone around him. WWE officials and other superstars stood at a distance, watching as the usually composed head of the table seethed with anger. Jim Uso, who had been sitting near the catering area, stood up with a smirk, shaking his head. "Man, you act like it's the end of the world. We took an L, it happens." Reigns turned sharply, his eyes burning with fury. "It happens?" His voice echoed through the backstage area. "You think this is some joke, Jimmy? You cost us that match tonight with your reckless mistakes." Jimmy rolled his eyes. "Oh, so now it's all on me?" he fired back, stepping forward. "What about Solo? What about you? We all got played out there, Uso." Before things could escalate, Jey Uso, still nursing his wounds from the night's events, stepped between them. "Ayo, chill, both of you. We're family, man." Reigns wasn't ready to back down. "Family?" he scoffed. "Family doesn't let each other get humiliated like that. Family doesn't embarrass the tribal chief on live TV." Solo, who had been silent throughout the exchange, finally spoke. "Then maybe you should have had a better plan," he said coldly. The room went silent. Reigns' eyes narrowed as he stared at his enforcer. "What did you just say?" Solo didn't flinch. "You heard me." Paul Heyman visibly paled, knowing that the cracks in the bloodline were now more obvious than ever. "You want to question me, Solo?" Reigns stepped closer, his voice lowering but still full of fire. "The guy who put you in this position? Who made you matter in WWE?" Solo clenched his jaw. "You made me an enforcer. But I didn't need you to make me a warrior." Reigns scoffed. "Oh, so now you're some kind of big man, huh? You think you can stand on your own?" Before Solo could answer, WWE officials finally stepped in, attempting to de-escalate the situation. SmackDown's general manager, Nick Aldis, walked up with his hands raised. "All right, enough. I don't care if you're the Bloodline, you're not gonna tear the place apart. Take the night, cool off." Reigns shook his head, laughing bitterly. "Cool off?" He turned to Heyman. "You see this? You see how they talk to me now?" Heyman nodded hesitantly. "I do, my tribal chief." Reigns glared at his stablemates one last time before storming off. The Bloodline, once a fortress of dominance, now looked like a ticking time bomb ready to explode. And for the first time in years, Roman Reigns was walking away not as the almighty tribal chief, but as a man facing the very real threat of losing control. As the night came to a close, one question lingered in the air: was this the beginning of the end for the Bloodline? I've crafted a dramatic backstage confrontation between Roman Reigns and his Bloodline members after SmackDown. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or additional twists.